Good day and greetings from the Great White North. My name is Prickly Poo and welcome to day 264 of a year of change. Today we're going to deviate a little bit from the sciencey bits. Normally we do either something that is in the news or something that is scientifically relevant to what we've been looking at. And this sort of is. I don't know if it's news, but it was apparently newsworthy anyway because everyone's had their whole panties in a bunch over it. Earlier on this week, and this is going to lead into a bigger conversation because I can feel a rat brewing. Arnold Schwarzenegger came out and said, you know what, maybe we should cut back on the amount of meat that we eat and have a few days a week where you don't eat meat because it hurts the environment and, there's lots of pollution, there's people are dying and just all sorts of bad things that go along with it, which he's right. Now, I'm not a big fan of his, especially of his politics. There's some stuff that you go, okay, that kind of makes sense, but when he was trying to run things in California, he just sort of went, no, we're going to be Republican, we're going to stay the course, and everything's going to be, nothing good for anybody. I'm not going to turn this into a political thing, so don't worry. But, I guess the problem I'm having is that the whole world has pretty much just gone batshit with him saying this. In that they're looking at him and saying, well, you've eaten meat to get as big as you are for your entire life. You're a hypocrite. And so essentially what their argument is that things that have gone, like stuff he's been doing for the past 20 or 30 years, or 40 years, actually, obviously you don't believe that because you've been doing, your past behavior proves otherwise, which I can sort of understand. But essentially what they're saying is, you can't say that because for the past 40 years, you did something different. To some extent, you can sort of understand and say, okay, yeah, if he's still doing that, then it's going to be a problem. It doesn't matter what it is. If I kept saying to you people, you shouldn't drink ever. It's very bad. It's very wrong, and it makes baby Jesus cry. It would just be hypocritical. But people are allowed to change their minds. They are allowed to get new information and use that information to change their opinion on things. We've done it so many times over the course of the past 9 months. And things that we just went, no, this is bullshit, we shouldn't be doing this, or maybe we should try that, and new information comes out, and we say, you know what, I was wrong, this is what we need to do now. So information is always changing. But I guess what the problem is that, aside from people just going crazy and shit, I have this week, I realized this, I've been kind of picking on the vegetarians and the vegans among you for the past week. So I do want to clear the air on that, because overall, I don't give a shit if you're vegetarian or if you're vegan or if there's another one, it's a new one, the fruitarian or something, fruitivore or something. I really don't care. The main thing that we've said right from day one is that different things are going to work for different people. The reason why I don't go vegetarian or vegan is because I don't feel the need to. I enjoy meat. I'm still going to eat it. I don't eat a lot of it. I'll have it a few times a week. It's usually, how do I think about it? I said, well, I'm going to include seafood in that. I'm going to include fish as meat. Because I've never quite understood that, where they say, oh, it's vegetarian. It's fish. It's not a vegetable, and it's not a fruit. It's not a plant of any kind. So if you're eating an animal, I think animal products, I can understand. Good enough. Eggs, milk, cheese, stuff like that. I can keep you in the vegetarian thing. If you eat fish, I don't think you're a vegetarian. It's just the way I look at it. For vegan, then they don't eat any animal, anything. So that's how we're going to differentiate these for this argument, for this discussion. It's not going to be an exact argument. But I eat meat probably, I'm going to say 3, well, if I'm not including eggs and stuff like that. So actual meat, so pork, beef, chicken. Probably 3 times a week. I'm just trying to get a sort of a rough idea in my head, and I don't really know because I've had chicken breasts in my freezer for a very long time and haven't had any in a while, or fish or something like that. So we're gonna err on the side of caution and say 4 days a week. So a little over half my week, which I think what he was mainly saying was to say, we don't need to have steak and potatoes every single day. There's just the amount of meat that we eat is very bad for the environment, which it is. No, we aren't going to get into the whole, hey, let's watch videos about people stepping on sheep and kicking chickens around and shit like that. Stuff like that, no. That is a completely different argument, and whoever those people are, I really, really hope that they die of a horrible, horrible ball disease. But I'm just talking about the meat itself. The conditions, it doesn't matter if you're saying, well, we're getting it because it's highly processed. Well, that's exactly, you're still killing an animal to eat, so it doesn't really matter. Having cows be happy before they get killed, that's a different argument altogether. So what we're going to talk about is the meat aspect of it. That I don't care if you have decided to go vegetarian or if you've gone vegan or whatever you decide to do, or if you said, no, you know what, I'm going to cut out everything, I'm just going to eat meat, which is probably not smart, you're probably going to die. We do need fruits and vegetables and everything else. I guess the way I look at it is, it's sort of like wearing fur. There you go. There's a hot button for everybody. We don't need to wear fur anymore. We have synthetics. We have stuff that even looks and feels like fur we can use. We have polyester, and I mean, you can have cotton or wool or whatever. There you go. Wool, there's an animal product. If you're vegan, you can't have that. Which always makes me laugh, because vegan people that are wearing their fancy little wool t-shirts, there was a batch of t-shirts that went out that it was something pro-vegan or something like that. And people were saying, you realize how did those shirts get here? They weren't made in North America. They were made on the other side of the world. So you're still using animal products, and you're still shipping them all the way over here. So it's just, anyway, this is going to turn into something more than this. So, I'm trying to stay focused on the vegetarian, the vegans, and stuff like that. If you decide that that's the way that you're going to go, fine, go for that. Oh, wait, no, stop. I already did that. We're trying to go for the fur thing. We don't need to wear fur. There we go. We don't need to wear fur anymore, because we have synthetics that do a much better job of it. And it's really it's to a point now where if you were to buy if you can, I don't even know if you can. I'm sure that you can. Buy like a real fur coat or something, then you're probably a dick. Just all the way around, because it's unnecessary. And I understand that the meat aspect, and maybe this is how some vegans and vegetarians look at meat, that the meat aspect of it, I know we don't really need it. It's a little bit different when we didn't have what we have now. That people, if you wanted protein, if you wanted iron, if you wanted all that stuff, you had your meat and you had your vegetables. That's what you ate. And right now, I mean, because we've been doing it for hundreds of thousands of years, our bodies are accustomed to it. That's what we need. That's where we get all of our stuff. All of our nutrition. There you go. Sciencey words for you. That's where we get all our food and nutritional stuff. Anyway, but I understand when people go vegetarian or vegan or something like that, that I could go with it. I could understand it and support it if it was simply a matter of saying it's not really necessary. You can get the protein that you need from, soybeans. We talked about that yesterday. Any protein that you want, you can get from this source. For things like iron, you can go here, green leafy vegetables, and, if you wanted, fish and stuff like that. People seem to have an okay time killing and eating fish. Same people that kill and eat, or that don't want to kill animals to eat them. But it's not just simply a dietary choice. It's not them saying, well, this isn't everybody, obviously, but it isn't just people saying, well, no, I'm doing this because I don't really need to eat meat, and I'd rather not. I'd rather have something that's equivalent, and if you're getting all your dietary nutrition out of it, then good. As long as you're not supplementing it with, whey protein, which is not vegan because it's from eggs. It's a milk product. Whey. There we go. That should sort of clue you in. So you have whey protein, and you have, what's the other stuff? Protein supplements and all the other stuff. If you're having that, then obviously you're not getting what you need. There are ways, and we've seen that we can adjust our diet so that we can get what we need. So when I'm sort of teasing and making fun of vegetarians and vegans, it's not because of the dietary choice. It's simply the fact that there seems to be that air of self-righteousness that goes along with it. If it was simply a matter of saying, I just don't like eating animals, I just find it, ugh, great, I can support that. I would serve people vegetarian or vegan food in my home. It wouldn't bother me one iota. It's when you get the ones that are saying, well, no, I don't eat meat because it's cruel and it's disgusting and you're vile and it's just, there's covered in blood. These are the same people that, when you get into that hippie dipster, the hipster hippie, assholes that are trying to do this because they think it makes a statement, that they think that they're the only ones that are doing this, and because they don't have any personality of their own, they need to latch onto something else. And unfortunately, part of that is, they tend to, they say anyway, do the whole vegan and vegetarian and gluten-free and all the other bullshit that goes along with it. There was a thing a while ago for someone was, I want to say it was potato chips, but I'm pretty sure it was, but it may have been French fries, where they were saying, it's gluten-free. Well, of course it's fucking gluten-free. There's potatoes, you moron. There's no gluten in potatoes. But it's shit like that. That's the sort of stuff, and I think it may be biased, it may be, what's the word I'm looking for? Prejudice, there we go. But that seems to be, it's not, I don't even know what's the majority of it, just that there is that aspect to it with some people. That there is someone that is at work that absolutely everything is, well, it's going to be vegan and it has to be this and this and this. And you're looking at them and you're going, there's no way that you don't go home and eat the way that I do. I know that you don't. It's very hard to, I mean, that is one good thing about the vegetarian and vegan diet. It's very hard to, maintain that weight on a vegan diet. So, I mean, it is going to be helpful if you're trying to lose weight, things like that, depending on what you're going for. We saw yesterday that if you're saying, well, I'm going to have a cup of, what was it that we said? Dry roasted, what's it called? It's the soybeans. I couldn't remember the name. I'm like, what the hell makes tofu? Well, people make tofu. Here you go. Anyway, I completely lost my train of thought. Yes, if you're going to have a cup of those, there's 800 calories. So just trying to keep things naturally, sort of, I completely lost what I was trying to say. Trying to say that the diet that we've mapped out over the past 9 months, it does include meat, it includes fish, it includes chicken, it includes dairy products, it includes everything. The things that we're avoiding are things that we know are not good for us. Highly processed foods, just because there's a whole lot of extra shit in there that we don't need. Trying to stay away from the cakes and the cookies and everything else, which we do from time to time. We are going to have them from time to time because we have decades of bad behavior to sort of get rid of. So it is going to take some time to do. But that's always going to be a part of it. And we've always said that we're not going to cut out any foods. There's nothing that you can look at and say, I'm not allowed to have that. If you're going out with your family and you've done well and you say, you know what, I want a piece of chocolate cake. Yes, it's fucking horrible for me, but I'm having a piece of chocolate cake and I haven't had any in 2 months or something. That's vastly different than saying, oh, well, it's the weekend. I got paid today. I'm going to buy 2 cakes and take them home, which we've probably all done at some point. We've all, maybe not 2, but all of us at some point have bought a cake or a pie and have not shared it with anybody because it's ours. So I'm in there with you. I don't know what my point was for all this stuff. It's going to turn into something bigger. Not to say that all vegetarians and vegans are douchebags. I don't want to get that across. I guess the best way to put it is, though, that a lot of the douchebags that I see tend to go for the gluten and vegan or gluten-free and vegan stuff. It seems to be sort of, and I think those are the same people that are going, oh no, I can't handle it. Yes, you can. You don't have celiac disease. There could not possibly be that high amount of people that have celiac disease and wear glasses and have beards with scarves and listen to shitty music. There just simply couldn't be. The numbers are astronomical. When you look at the odds of that, no, it can't be. It just simply cannot be that high. So, if you are a vegetarian or a vegan, go for it. If you can do it, great. If it's helping you along with your weight loss, great. It doesn't matter. The diet that you're on, as long as it's something that's healthy and that's balanced all the way around, if you're still getting, the proper amount of protein and fiber and carbohydrates and fat and sugar and salt and all the good and the bad that we've been trying to get balanced out for the past 9 months, if you're getting all that from your diet, then go for it. And if it's working, even better. If you found something that's going to work for you, you're not starving yourself, you're not killing yourself, well, you can work out at the gym, but don't get to a point where you're just like going 6-7 hours a day, because some people do. And if you're getting to a point where it has been working and it's something that's sustainable, then by all means, stay with it. Because whatever you're doing is working for you. It may not work for me, and what I'm doing may not work for you, but you found something. And if you're making progress, then stick with that, because that's the main goal of this, is to keep that progress going. But if you found something that's working for you and you think, I want to try the vegetarian thing, I want to try the vegan thing, go ahead, try it. It's not going to hurt anything. You're not doing more damage by doing it. But if you're trying to go for a vegan or vegetarian diet where it's not sustainable and it's something that you find is too difficult, and that sort of goes along the line of having any diet. If you find it to be too difficult, you know that you're going to quit. You know you're going to get to a point where you're not going to be able to do it anymore. You're going to crack. You're going to get those cravings again, and you're going to indulge in them, and then that's going to make you feel bad, and then you're going to keep going, which I did a couple of weeks ago, and just have like a period of like 2 or 3 days where you're just like, fuck it, I don't care anymore. And once we get into that mode, it's very hard to get back out. I'm not saying that vegetarianism or veganism is going to cause that. I'm just saying if you're at a point right now where you've included meat and fish and everything else in your diet and it's working for you, great, stick with it. If you want to try the vegetarian thing or if you want to try the vegan thing, great, stick with it. Whatever's going to work for you. The main reason why I sort of want to bring this up today is because it was in the news, which I think is ridiculous, because they sort of latched on to this line that he did from a movie where I've never seen the movie. I've seen the clip, so it's okay, so I can talk about the clip. And it's him and Stallone. And he says, you hit like a vegetarian. And of course, people are going back to that going, well, you said this 2 years ago, and now you're saying not to eat meat. You're a hypocrite. It's a fucking movie. So now we're quoting people's movie lines as being, their opinions on things. So, sorry for Robert Englund. He's obviously a real-life murderer. Derek Mears, you're fucked because you've been killing so many campers. There's all of this stuff that's out there. Or all this stuff that's out there. That doesn't make any sense at all. I don't even know what I was going to start to say with that one. When we're trying, we need to divide things up so that people can look at it and say, okay, this is reality, these are movies. If we're actually quoting movie lines for people now and saying, well, that's obviously their stance on things, then there is definitely a problem. And that is unrelated to anything that we've talked about so far, but I wanted to get that in there because that, more than anything else, really fucking drove me nuts. Because you're now, I could grab any movie quote from any actor and say, well, see, obviously that's what they believe. We have enough crazy fucking people saying shit that they believe, you know who you are, that we don't need to worry about all the other shit that comes out of movies and everything else. If you have to really tell people, no, this isn't real, this isn't really, it might be what he believed at the time. It's only 2 years ago, too. That might be, but that was a movie, and everyone has been quoting it all week long. It's been driving me nuts, because I've heard it so many times now that originally it sounded like something that a person just wouldn't say. Because, it's not unless you're constantly fighting, then when are you ever going to say that to someone? And it sounds like something really cheesy in 80s. So, as it turns out, it's a recent movie of his that he did, which I haven't seen. But that's what the line is from. And so, really, that's sort of been the one that people have latched onto, which really sort of strikes me as being odd. And I've gone all over the place with this video, haven't I? I've completely gone off the rails. I don't know what I was talking about anymore. Sorry. But just to sort of clear the air, and I think I may have made it worse. For all the douchebags out there that, they have the hipster glasses and the crappy beard, gross, and, wearing scarves and knit wool caps in the middle of summer, awesome. For all of you out there that are doing the vegetarian and vegan thing because you think it's awesome, and you think, you know what, this makes me a better person, it doesn't. It still makes you a douchebag. That's not going to change things. For all of you out there that are doing a vegetarian thing or a vegan thing because you feel that it's a healthier choice, by all means, I support you. And for those of you that are out there that go, I just want to do it because I feel really, really guilty about eating animals, I'm right behind you. I will support you again. It's as long as you're honest about it, you're going to be fine. I would even be supportive of people that said, well, I want to be vegan because I'm a douchebag and people think I'm cooler that way. Okay, you know what? I'll support you in that too. Just don't lie about it because that's what makes you a douchebag. Anyway, overall though, whatever you find is going to work for you, diet-wise, and there have been a lot of things that we've shown that, that we've looked at that some people may not be able to eat. You may have food allergies, so you've got to take some of those things out. There may be things that you've latched onto and you can't get rid of now because you've decided, you know what, it's better than potato chips. My sodium is still high, but I'm still eating pickles. I know we still sort of go back to those, but those were our staples. But whatever it is that you found, if it's working and you're making progress and even if it's very slow progress, as the majority of us are going through, then by all means, stick with it. It's working, stay with it. It's something that you'll be able to sustain when you're done. And once you get to a point where you're comfortable, you're going to be able to tweak that again. And you'll be able to say, all right, now's the time. I think I can take a little bit away from here and a little bit away from there. And if that means that you decide, you know what, I'm going to try doing without meat 3 or 4 days a week, then fine, do it. You are still going to get what you need. At the end of the week, it doesn't need to be day by day, but by the end of the week, you're still going to be able to get what you need for your body, and you're going to know much better than I am what you're deficient in. Because hopefully you've gone to a doctor to find that out and not just look at it and go, oh, obviously I'm iron deficient. I better eat more iron. What would be an iron? Aside from meat, obviously. Fish and vegetables and iron things. Anyway, I'm going to leave this video here because I'm rambling and I don't know if I made my point. Kind of wanted to apologize for sort of shitting all over the vegetarians and the vegans this week, and that's pretty much it. And just to say, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not for me right now. Because I still enjoy a hamburger once in a while, which I haven't had in a very long time, which is a good thing. So almost at my halfway point, almost at the end of the calendar year, and I want to stay on track to get to my halfway point by then. So I have another 2-3 weeks to go, and that's what's going to... Might not reach it, but I'm going to try my best. But for right now, I'm going to leave this video here. So thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, please poke the like button for me. And in the meantime, keep yourself warm and fuzzy, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.